All right, here we go. Sports Bit Betting Insight today. Pauly and Teddy, Monday, October 8th. Big game breakdown. Monday Night Football. And we got 3 games in Major League Baseball. We'll sneak in the Red Sox and the Yankees to go over. We'll get the game that's ready to go in a couple hours with the Indians and the Astros. And we recap everything from the NFL weekend, all the betting news you need to know in less than 20 minutes or 2 minutes. I'm at Real Sports Bet on Twitter. He's at Teddy_Covers, SBRpicks.com. We'll get to the UFC in a second as well. First, Teddy, maybe it's time to blindly bet these home dogs 4-0 this week. They've crushed it so far in the NFL season, and Sunday was a very good day for the books.
Yeah, sure. And the home dogs have been, we talk about the betting stories of the 2018 season. We see all these high totals, but the totals haven't been flying over. It's been pretty close to 50-50. The dogs have been fairly good in early season action, but the best subset has been those home dogs. Nothing but moneymakers yesterday. And that 4-0, I mean, you could easily make it 5-0. The Lions actually closed as favorites, didn't count in that 4-0 mark, but they opened as underdogs against the Packers.
Yes, bad for the books. Ravens, Browns under 47 down to 44.5. No way anyone was getting in the end zone. 12-9 final in overtime. How about from Peter King? Here's the Browns game so far, decided by 0, 3, 4, 3, and 3. Wild game. Browns get the win. They finally get Joseph to make the field goal as they win, and that was definitely the right side. Never had to sweat that.
Sure, and the game went into overtime, and you never had to sweat it. You know, that's the beauty of those type of wagers. Joe Flacco had a Joe Flacco game. Let's call it what it was. And the Ravens had chances to win and cover, dropped TD pass at the end, potential TD pass at the end of the game. Ended up allowing Cleveland to get the money, and the under, never in doubt in that one.
Yep, Lions +1 went to a 1.5-point favorite. 6 straight Green Bay Detroit games have gone over. They win 31-23. That was wild with the total. We'll get to that in a second. And Dolphins Bengals under 50 to 47.5, 27-17. I thought Tannehill was going to turn it over again. My God, that was 7-0 with 30 seconds left in the second quarter and 17-3 in the fourth. The Bengals get the win. More on that coming up, but the under got there.
Yeah, and of course, the under cashes despite not 1, but 2 defensive scores. When you're betting unders, your worst case scenario is the big plays. You don't want to let the turnovers come in the other team's red zone, not in their own red zone. Cincy with 2 turnovers deep in their own territory, both of which were returned for touchdowns, and yet that game still stayed under the total. And Matthew Stafford, your boy, Pauly, Matthew Stafford now 2-0 against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers this year. Impressive performance from the Lions back at home.
Well, Mason Crosby had a lot to do with that. Cardinals +4.5 down to 3. They win by 10 on the road. They were thoroughly dominated. Check out the stats of that game. 49ers kept turning it over. Titans 3.5 up to 6.5. Great result for the books. Titans lose outright. Buffalo has 230 yards of offense, but they win the game.
Yeah, and that, I mean, we talk about really bad results for the house. Arizona, San Fran, one of the worst games of the day when it comes to the pro bettors, because the pros were all over the Cardinals, knowing San Fran's injury situation. Yeah, the box score looked ugly for that game for Arizona, but Josh Rosen played fairly well, and of course that defense forced 5 49er turnovers, and great result for the books with Buffalo's win over Tennessee. There was nothing but wise guy money on the Titans. There was nothing but public money on the Titans, and Tennessee's defense played well. Their offense didn't. Josh Allen did just enough to get the late game-winning field goal. Another potential drop touchdown pass that would have sealed the win for Tennessee. Instead, Buffalo gets the money. Good result for bookmakers, both here in Las Vegas and offshore.
Yep, and that was my mistake. That was a bad bet, just like the Broncos, +2.5. The look-ahead line went to a 1-point favorite, gave up 300 yards rushing to the Jets. They are 1-11 their last 12 road games. Vance Joseph's on a 2-14 ATS run. Vikings Eagles over 44.5 to 48.5, 23-21 final. Some bad beats, a lot of them. 49ers Cardinals under 40.5. It's 14-6 with 6 minutes left. What the hell happened? Touchdown. 49ers go for 2, don't get it. Defensive touchdown. They get the ball back. It's 4th and a mile. They go for it deep in their own territory. Don't get it. Arizona scores again. Then San Francisco gets the ball back and scores 28-18. That was crazy. If it was 14-6, 6 minutes left, you lose that bet.
Oh, and I mean, right side, clear right side. Neither offense moved the
Yeah.
football effectively. They were turnover. I mean, that was an ugly, ugly football game to watch. Your eyes are bleeding by the third quarter of that contest if you were watching it. But if it's 14-6 with 6 minutes left, you're supposed to cash your under tickets when you got a rookie quarterback and a backup quarterback playing against each other. Wasn't the case yesterday. It didn't just get over. If you tease the under, it didn't even get there at the end. Well, I guess 46 it did. But bottom line is, that was a tough, tough beat for underbettors. Right side, wrong result.
Yeah, to me, this was a moose, too. The Dolphins +6, up 17 points, and then it's 17-3 in the fourth quarter. You mentioned the two defensive touchdowns, and then you have the ball with 2:30 left, down 3. The only way you're going to lose there is a pick 6 or because it's 3rd and 20 on the play he fumbles and they house it. So they're going to punt with all 3 timeouts if it's incomplete. So they just can't give up the big play. But they hit him from behind, up in the air. And the pick 6 before that was ridiculous, where Tannehill hits, I think it is his own lineman, and ricochets 5 yards back behind the line of scrimmage, and Johnson is having a snack just standing there, and it goes into his lap, and he houses it. So in any event, you're up 17 points, and you lead by 14 in the fourth quarter, and you can't cash +6.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, let's call it what it was. The NFL marketplace is going to put these numbers in a range where they're going to get two-way action. And that game got two-way action all week, and Miami looked like the right side early. And then, they played a very bad first half in New England last week. They played a very bad second half, really fourth quarter, in Cincinnati this week. Maybe the lesson to be taken from this is Dolphins in hostile environments, beware. Bottom line, that was, we can call it a bad beat. It's kind of a moose for Dolphins backers. Really tough one. My condolences to anyone that had Miami in their pocket yesterday.
All right, what'd you make of Mason Crosby? How about very important field goal, though, with 2 seconds left, the one he finally made, as he missed 4 field goals and an extra point, but the Packers kick it with less than 5 seconds left to put it on 54 with the total, as it was 50. That was going crazy what they were doing. And in the same thing, the Steelers get a defensive touchdown with 3 minutes left to barely get over the total. Depends what you got there. Fell 58. There was 57, 57 and a half. Who knows what happened there?
Sure. Well, I mean, Mason Crosby really tried hard to turn an over into an under all by himself, but finally got there at the end. Of course, that sharp money, Lions money was spot on. And the Steelers-Falcons, really worth noting. When you look at the opener and you look at the closer, you say, oh, it opened 57, it closed 57, it got to 58, no big deal. Yeah, but it was at 58 throughout the course of the week, and that late blocked punt and they had the blocked punt that led to a touchdown, and the late sack fumble that was a touchdown, and the late under money that sent the total back down to 57. That wasn't a great result for the house, not by any stretch of the imagination, Pauly. But it wasn't the only one. I mean, the Broncos' money went down in flames. The Ravens' money went down in flames. The Titans' money went down in flames. The Eagles' money went down in flames. The Eagles' over money went down in flames. That, total opened 44.5, closed 48.5. I mean, basically the only thing the bettors got right was the Cardinals' money. And that was all wise guys. So definitely one of the better Sundays, NFL Sundays of the year for the bookmakers. Hopefully you guys out there were able to take advantage and be on some of the right sides, not some of the wrong sides yesterday.
But make no mistake about it, the biggest story coming out of the weekend was UFC 229.
Yep.
Right here down the street in Vegas. A bad beat. Alexander Volkov -170, who has Lewis. It's over. He destroys Lewis for almost 3 rounds. He's ahead on all the scorecards. He's going to win. Lewis is gassed. He was tired in the first round, and Volkov gets close to him with 20 seconds left, and with 11 seconds left in the fight, he gets knocked out. Unbelievable, incredibly stupid. That really killed me, that Volkov gets beat there. And we told you on the show Friday, smart guy Larry Pepe said Conor had no chance. He was right. He said the true odds were $4. Khabib destroys Conor. A bad beat, though, was KO or TKO +350. I can't believe Herb Deeb didn't stop that in the second round when he was wailing on McGregor and he wasn't fighting back. But anyway, but the real story was what happened afterwards. He flies out of the octagon and the melee starts. Ton of professional money all over town on Khabib.
Yeah, sure. And this was, I mean, the ultimate, much like when Mayweather faced McGregor, it was the ultimate sharp square divide. I don't know why the public likes losing money with McGregor, but they do. I mean, every person I talk to in town in a sport was it's McGregor. Everyone's betting McGregor. Oh my God, they love McGregor. I don't get it. I really don't. It wasn't. And McGregor had a good third round. He got himself back into it. But the bottom line is, wise guys got this one right. The public got this one wrong. Khabib by TKO. That is a tough beat. That second round was kind of ugly, but bottom line is Khabib got the money. The bettors, the public bettors, took a bath on this fight, just like they took a bath in Mayweather McGregor.
Well, the Mayweather, I understand. I mean, he had no chance, but you're not going to lay with that ridiculous price was the other way once it opened up, and then they drove it down. But still, he was this is a bad matchup for him, and Khabib's only lost one round. Finally happened, the third round, the first time he ever lost a round. Monday Night Football, Saints at home against the Redskins, 6-52 the total. Ingram back from his suspension, and this is a unique scheduling spot because the Redskins are off the bye. I don't think you want to buy this early, and we don't know what to make of the Redskins. Yes, they beat Arizona, who stinks. They lost at home to the Colts and then beat Green Bay at home. So we don't know a lot about the Redskins, and the Saints are looking forward to the bye coming up after this game.
Yeah, sure. And the Redskins, I mean, the talk for Washington about the bye is that they're supposed to be healthier coming out of it. There are a handful of guys that were banged up, or really banged up. Trent Williams has time to heal, got his back into practice. Josh Norman got back into practice. Adrian Peterson's quote, "The bye week came at the right time, not only for me, but a lot of other guys on the team that were banged up. Gives you that extra week to heal up and lick your wounds." Of course, Washington is most assuredly going to remember what happened here last year in New Orleans. They're up 31-16. There's less than 6 minutes on the clock. It's a game that Chris Thompson broke his leg. It's a game that Sean Laval got hurt and didn't play again the rest of the year. And that 15-point lead with less than 6 minutes to play, they ended up giving up 2 quick TDs and lost in overtime. It was a loss that essentially ended any chance they had at making the playoffs. John Gruden talking about that loss that they still remember through the bye week from last year. Quote, "It was a pretty solid game for what it was at 55 minutes, probably on both sides of the ball. On the road, it was a tough environment, but offense, defense, special teams played well. In the last 5 minutes, we failed to get a first down, and they scored 2 touchdowns and 15 points in 5 minutes. Washington still remembering what happened a year ago." And we're talking about, why the love for the Redskins. This line's sitting at 6, open 6.5. I thought it was going to go to 7. Instead, it's come the other way. Total's been bet down a little bit as well. The 52s, trying to see 51.5s and 51s out in the markets here on Monday morning. But from a side standpoint, why the Washington money? I'll give you one stat, and it's only one stat. Real simple. The Redskins are outgaining their opponents by a full yard per play. Very short sample size, only 3 games, but at plus 1.0 yards per play, that's number 3 in the NFL when it comes to the offense versus the defense. And that's a stat that right around October, the wise guys start to take very, very seriously. That's why the Washington Redskins are a popular wise guy choice on Monday Night Football tonight. That and the fact they think Drew Brees might be a little bit distracted.
Yep. Saints 2-5 ATS. Last 7 is home chalk. They're going against the worst. The Redskins are going against the worst pass defense in the league, according to Football Outsiders. You mentioned the distraction. Brees should break the record tonight. Peyton Manning's record just needs over 200 yards. Ingram on Brees. He's breaking records every year. He's always accomplishing something, always some milestone. Won't be the first time I've seen him break a record. Won't be the last time I see him break a record. Just another day in the life of being a teammate of Drew Brees. Ingram back. Kamara and Thomas led them up to a decent start. And Thomas, I mean, at one point he had 41 targets and 38 receptions. He's been a beast for the Saints, and we'll see if it's going to be a shootout in this one. And see how Alex Smith plays as well, as he's had his early success for the Redskins too. They figure to be able to throw on the Saints.
Yeah, sure. And when you talk about the issues with Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas had an incredible start to the season, but he looked like the Saints' only weapon. Last week, Giants keyed on Thomas, and you know what? Boom. All of a sudden, all the other guys from New Orleans start to step up. That was a very positive sign. Another very positive sign. As you mentioned, they had Kamara, and Kamara's been a monster. Now they get Ingram back too. Obviously, with the dual running back system, that keeps them fresher. I would expect the Saints to be running the football more than some might expect tonight, and that doesn't make me excited about the over in this game. There's a reason money's coming on the under, and I think that's because market's expecting both teams, not just the Saints, but even the Redskins as well, with Peterson and Thompson, be running the football a little bit more than they're throwing it this evening. This might be a running back fest on Monday Night Football.
All right, very good. The late game, Major League Baseball, pivotal game 3. Yankees at home against the Red Sox. Yankees have won 7 playoff games in a row the last 2 years, home playoff games the last 2 years. Severino against Eovaldi. Severino and the Yankees $1.70, 8.5 the total. Porcello was pushed back, and now it's going to be Eovaldi. And I don't know if this is good news or bad news. Price says he's available after another horrible start in game 2. He's actually been good out of the bullpen, but never has won a playoff game that he started. What a bullpen mismatch this has turned out to be early. Yankees pen only 1 run in the series in 10 innings. Coming off the win as Tanaka was great as well. You win 108 games. That would stink if you can't even win a playoff series, Teddy. I know the Yankees won 100 themselves, but the Red Sox are going to feel the heat now if they lose this one or fall behind early, and they have to trust Eovaldi. Easier said than done. He's making his first career playoff start.
Sure, though Eovaldi has pitched fairly well against the Yankees, and of course he pitched for the Yankees. So he's familiar with this venue. But you look at the quote from Betances, talking about the atmosphere in Yankee Stadium. Quote, "It's been huge. I've never played in an atmosphere like playing New York in the postseason for the last couple of years. It's been unbelievable. It's going to be even crazier now that we're playing Boston." But I mean, this series has shifted. The Red Sox, they led 5-0 after 3 innings on Friday. They had to hang on for the win. And the Yankees got Sanchez going and Judge going on Saturday and bombed the Red Sox in that contest early on. So whatever early momentum the Red Sox had, they don't necessarily have anymore. But let's be realistic. We talk about the starters and Severino going against Eovaldi. This game's about the 2 bullpens. That's where this game is going to be decided. The Yankees bullpen elite, the Red Sox bullpen elite. And it's worth noting the Yankees has already seen 212 pitches against Boston's relievers through the first 2 games of the series, 10 for 42 against them. The Yankees 6 for 33, hitting just 182. The Red Sox, against the Yankees relievers. Aaron Judge, you want to affect that bullpen as best we can. It's a 5-game series and we can wear them down, get them using that bullpen. It's a good thing. For Eovaldi, this is his first postseason start, man. That's certainly a concern for me. That being said, this quote from Mookie Betts really stood out to me from Boston. Quote, "I don't think you expect to sweep. You've got 2 great teams here. It's a best of 5. It's going to be fun." We read between the lines there, Pauly. That says this isn't likely to be a sweep. This is the type of series you would expect to go back and forth. There may be some value with the loser of the previous game in their next contest. This is a zigzag series. I lean towards the underdog tonight.
All right, it's going to be tough, though. If they can't get much out of Eovaldi, you go to that Boston bullpen. It could get ugly, and I give the edge to the Yankees there, certainly, and we'll see how Severino does as well, who struggled since the break, but pitched well in the play-in game against the A's. All right, I have no opinion. You take it away. What do you want to do for play of the day?
Sure. Let's talk about the total on Monday Night Football tonight. Redskins and the Saints. And this isn't one of the stronger plays, but there's not a lot of action on today's card to give a play of the day with. Let's go. 477, 478. Saints and Redskins. Let's think of under 51. You can even find 52 still, but we'll call it 51.5 as the prevailing number. Redskins and Saints under. That's our play of the day.
All right, back tomorrow. We'll recap everything. More playoff baseball to get to, and we'll recap the college schedule, what happened over the weekend. Ton of upsets, ranked teams going down, and some sick beats as always. And you won't believe what happened in that Hawaii-Wyoming game. Get to that tomorrow. Sportsbit. Betting Insight today. SBR Picks. I'm at Real Sportsbet on Twitter. He's at Teddy_Covers. All the betting news you need to know in less than 20 minutes. Low Shack in the bag up next.